All right, I think we're good to go.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today in this session on AI at Scale by Denvr Dataworks. Whether you're an AI builder, innovator, researcher, or partner, we want you to walk away today with a clear sense of how Denvr can help you accelerate your AI goals. So let's take a quick look at what we'll cover in today's session. AI is reshaping everything from infrastructure to inference. Today, we'll share how we're solving that challenge from end to end. I'm Amy Short. I'll be co-hosting the session with my colleague Tom. We'll walk you through what it really takes to run high-performance AI workloads from physical infrastructure to real-time inference services. Before we dive in, a quick bit of housekeeping for everyone. This webinar is being recorded, so you'll receive the link to watch on demand afterwards. We'll also have time for brief Q&A at the end, but feel free to drop your questions in the chat at any time as we go. If you'd like to contact either of us directly after the session, both Tom and I have our emails listed here, and we're always happy to continue the conversation. So here's what we'll be covering today. We'll start by breaking down some of the unique challenges of the AI infrastructure landscape, things that make AI different than traditional cloud workloads. Then we'll walk through how Denvr's vertical integration and modular design enable us to solve those challenges efficiently and at scale. You'll see two use cases. One is focused on our infrastructure solutions, our approach to building and running a high-density, immersion-cooled AI supercluster, something we're really proud of. Another is focused on our AI services, where we're going to showcase a customer success story where an AI-powered tool went from concept to real-world clinical deployment, so achieving meaningful results with our platform. We'll wrap with a discussion about how you can engage with us, including our AI Ascend program, which offers innovators access to compute, support, and scale. To get a sense of who's in the room today, we'd love for you to answer this quick poll. What segment of the market do you represent? All right, interesting results. Quite a few of you on the line are solution vendors, 29%. The next most represented are facility design builders and suppliers. A huge variety of different participants in this ecosystem, and this is something that I see quite a bit in this area. Because Denvr is vertically integrated, we have touch points across the ecosystem, so it's really great to see a big mix of people from our network. So before we dive into the infrastructure and AI service challenges, let's take a minute to introduce who we are and why this work matters to us at Denvr Dataworks. Denvr's based in Calgary, in Alberta, Canada. We've been operating since 2017. We were founded with a clear goal to build infrastructure and services that match the scale, performance, and agility that modern AI innovation demands. We refer to ourselves as a neocloud, which means we're not trying to recreate legacy public cloud, but rather to deliver a next-gen cloud platform that's purpose-built for AI. Our model is optimized from the ground up, from physical infrastructure to software enablement. We operate across both Canada and the United States. What makes us unique is our vertically integrated approach. So we don't just host GPUs, we design and deploy the data center platforms, the thermal solutions, and the services that make the AI training and inference performative. On the right, you'll see some of our core strengths, from enabling frictionless AI software environments to white glove customer-centric support, to optimize networking that accelerates time to results, and high-density rapid build infrastructure. Together, all of these capabilities let us offer a full stack experience that simplifies AI for our customers. So now that you know a little bit about who we are and how we approach the stack differently, let's take a closer look at how we collaborate to unlock innovation. The past 2 decades were shaped by hyperscale cloud, general purpose workloads, long compute cycles, fairly stable refresh timelines, and AI broke that model. Today's AI data centers, what we call AI factories, have different needs altogether. If you look at this list here, these are some of the highlights, but there are quite a few others that could be added to this list and a lot of nuance behind all of them. What you see are big changes in the way that the architecture of the overall data center design is put together, from disaggregated CPU-based solutions to density-optimized GPU solutions. Power and thermal draws and thermal outputs are increasing significantly, and we're seeing massive GPU density demand. One of the other pressures that we're seeing in this space also is that product cycles and innovation time are compressed. So there are new hardware rollouts every year, or even fewer months than that. So there's greater pressure on time to deploy, land use, sustainability, and power requirements to achieve those builds. The final thing that's really important for me on the technical side of the house is that there's greater complexity in performance optimization. It requires capabilities build out, and it also requires more ecosystem collaboration. So we've entered this new infrastructure era. It's one where the ability to adapt and optimize quickly is essential. So let's get specific. What exactly are the challenges that you face when you're trying to deploy AI at scale? When you think about the AI factory of tomorrow, close your eyes. What do you envision? Scaling AI isn't just building a bigger data center. It's a whole new design problem. And we've built AI platforms from the ground up. As we've done this, we've learned that AI workloads break the traditional data center model. They aren't just scaled up web applications, they come with new compounding demands, and they need purpose-built solutions. So we're going to talk through 7 critical challenges here on this slide. The first of which I think is top of mind for many people on this call, the power availability and data center efficiency. AI clusters require sustained high power delivery, often 2 times or 3 times or even more of the draw of a general purpose workload. Goldman Sachs estimates that the data center energy consumption will increase 165% by 2030, and AI is the biggest driver. This makes energy availability and power efficiency business critical issues. We design to optimize every watt because infrastructure is only scalable if it's sustainable. The second challenge is liquid cooling. So cooling is no longer a background concern, it's a gating factor. Cooling can account for up to 50% of a data center's total energy use, and air cooling alone doesn't cut it for modern AI clusters. We now have to rely on advanced liquid cooling solutions, both direct-to-chip cold plate using water and immersion cooling using oil-based or engineered fluid solutions. Each has operational trade-offs. Both are necessary depending on workload and density, customer and site requirements, and some sites are even beginning to explore things like heat recapture and reuse to further improve sustainability. The third is compute density. We're pushing more GPUs into smaller footprints. Rack power densities have surged and really, really surged. If you look at the overall rack density in a decade ago, we were talking maybe 4 to 5 kilowatts. Now we're pushing 50 plus kilowatts today. And this just keeps growing. So what this does is it requires us to rethink space, airflow, cabling. And the other thing that I think isn't always intuitive is safety. It's not just adding more racks, it's rethinking how you operate the data center and design it. The fourth is speed to deploy and site requirements. This is table stakes. AI hardware is advancing so quickly that a 3-year build out is already going to put you behind the curve. But land permitting, infrastructure readiness, utility interconnects, all of these take time. Modular, rapidly deployable approaches like the one that Denvr has is a strategic advantage in this space. The fifth is sovereignty. AI is now a strategic asset, and customers are asking where their data lives. In Canada, there's a growing momentum to build sovereign AI capacity, both compute and industry. We're seeing similar shifts globally, and this isn't just a Canada story. AI data sovereignty is becoming a strategic priority in nations around the world, including the United States. Networking and data optimization is the sixth challenge. This one, I would say, is probably the least visible, unless if you work in that space in particular. But it actually is one of the most complex aspects of AI infrastructure. 400 gig connections per GPU are now standard, which means that you have 3,200 gigs per node with no oversubscription. That's far beyond the typical CPU-based nodes that might have had 25 to 100 gig for the entire system. And when it comes to physical complexity, just 128 hosts can require over 1,500 fiber cables and transceivers. So managing that scale at that speed with reliability is a serious challenge. The last one I wanted to mention here is environmental impact. As AI use grows, so does environmental scrutiny. AI infrastructure carries a real environmental impact. Energy intensity, land use, and water consumption are all rising. Regulators, customers, and communities are paying closer attention. So solutions like immersion cooling unlock a future with zero water consumption. Heat reuse, like I mentioned earlier, can offer additional benefits. At Denvr, we've made sustainability a design requirement. All of these challenges are real and they compound one another. And that's why AI infrastructure needs to be designed intentionally, not repurposed from a general purpose cloud. And that's exactly what we've done here. So another question for you. Which AI challenge resonates with you the most? All right, the results are in. The two areas with highest votes were the thermal management solution, the liquid cooling approach, and sovereignty, both areas of significant opportunity and challenge in the AI space tomorrow. There actually were, and this doesn't always happen, there were votes for every single one of those items. And I think that reflects the very real complexity that goes into thinking through data center builds, designs, and deployments. We haven't even started talking about the challenges of AI cloud and services. Just focused on the infrastructure story, we're already in a very complicated spot. So it's really interesting to see this. I think, these are very real challenges and very real places where you can innovate and you can actually design intentionally to overcome some of them. So Tom, if you go to the next story, I want to just showcase the way that Denvr approaches resolving some of these challenge areas. So the way that we've thought through this is that we don't want to just deploy infrastructure with cloud services sitting on top of it. We want to design around AI from the ground up. We want to think through how to future-proof this design and how to streamline the design where possible to accommodate a huge diversity also in the actual AI use cases that we're seeing in the ecosystem today. So here's how we engineered this platform to meet the real needs of AI deployment today across every pressure point we talked about earlier. What you see here on the left of the slide is our modular supercluster, or our MSC design. This is our data center. The top image is a single MSC capable of housing over 1,000 interconnected GPUs. The bottom image is what it looks like when we deploy pods of 4 MSCs that scales up to over 4,000 GPUs in a fully integrated cluster. Each one is modular and optimized for performance and efficiency. Our approach involves designing the infrastructure stack end to end, and here's how it performs. In terms of data center efficiency, we run at 1.04 PUE, a 40% savings over air-cooled data centers. That's due to holistic design, not just better cooling, but better layout, airflow control, and power distribution from the ground up. Liquid cooling. We support a range of advanced thermal approaches. Our immersion experience has shown increased uptime and lower failure risk at higher densities. It also helps that we can reduce our mechanical complexity and simplify operations. We have an unprecedented level of density, which allows us to concentrate enormous compute capacity while keeping it modular and serviceable. And we can also build and deploy in months, not years. This is massive in this industry. It's enabled by our modular architecture that allows us to capture stranded power that might not be able to be done by a traditional build. This agility is key when AI hardware refresh cycles are moving so quickly. Our design uses 10% of the land per megawatt compared to conventional sites. And our immersion cooling approach uses zero water. That's a sustainability win with an operational cost benefit. And finally, we're proudly Canadian owned and operated, which enables sovereign AI deployment for government and public sector clients. All of this is complemented with our AI service software enablement and engineering customer support. Because we own the full stack, we're able to co-optimize across hardware, software, and operations to deliver performance, speed, and reliability. So let's bring that all together with a real-world deployment, our immersion-cooled GPU supercluster. The image you're seeing here wasn't taken from a lab or a proof of concept tank. This is actually an image from our production AI infrastructure designed by Denvr Dataworks with 2.5 years of operation under its belt. In Calgary, we've deployed a full-scale immersed GPU supercluster that brings all of these infrastructure choices together. The advantages in efficiency and reliability that we're seeing by using this approach are real and business impactful. Beyond that, our designs enable zero water use in a region where it's a meaningful differentiator. Continuous deployment and uptime monitoring is possible via 2,000 sensors that are located inside of our data centers. And because we're aligned with OCP specifications where it benefits, we also have the flexibility to evolve the environment over time. This deployment isn't just about cost or performance, it's about future-proofing. So we want to position ourselves to support what's next: more power, more heat, and more scale. So now that we've shown you the infrastructure, let's shift to how we've layered AI services on top and the value that that creates for our real users. When we say metal to model, this is what we mean. Our platform isn't just hardware, it's a full stack AI services platform.
Awesome. Thanks, Amy. Yeah, I'll take it from here for our platform. So you can see here, here's our stack. This is when we say we're fully vertically integrated. It shows that on the left, all we don't have control over is fiber and power. Aside from those two things, we control everything from our data centers to the AI compute, networking and storage, platform management, orchestration, AI applications, and AI services. So all the way to spinning up a VM. It all comes through our services the entire way through. And why this is powerful is that we can co-optimize the entire platform for reliability and for efficiency. So this way we can help make sure that if there's a certain application we want to run and needs a certain type of networking and storage with it, everything's optimized together. And the entire goal is that we're able to provide you the platform to take an idea into reality. So the entire goal for this is to make sure it's reliable and efficient, but also that it's faster and more convenient for researchers as well. So what are Denvr's AI services? So here are some architecture and core capabilities. So we have compute options of bare metal or VM control. So either bare metal, you can get full access to the GPUs themselves, or with virtual machines, we're able to help provide some more level of service and support for the workflows. We have pre-built AI environments like containers that come with PyTorch, TensorFlow, Rapids, and Jupyter notebooks, and built-in orchestration for scheduling and resource alignment for faster execution. Now, what this all helps for is for rapid environment launch. So people can spin up a workload with just a couple clicks. It's elastic resource scheduling along with programmatic control access. So you can help manage the job submissions. And yeah, again, this ties into why we control the full stack. We need every piece of that to work together so we can provide all of these services, and we're constantly iterating and changing to make sure that we help support the industry. Like most of you on this call probably are aware, everything can change in the next 3 months. And so we need to be able to move that quickly. When the deployment takes, 3 years for some data centers to spin up, We need to be able to move a lot faster than that as this industry is progressing. Now, for a fun use case here, this is a real world example that we're excited to bring up. This is Dr. Ross Mitchell, who's a CFAR AI chair for Canada through Amy. He designed a tool called Jenkins, an AI scribe. It's currently being trialed in 10 emergency rooms across Alberta, but it was built completely on our platform. And not only did he use the compute to build it on our platform, we were able to provide him the technical resources as well to help support him and help him build it along the way. And this stuff is challenging. There's a lot of issues that can come up. There's a lot of questions or concerns that can happen along the way. And getting key resources over time gets more challenging as more and more services are automated and don't necessarily have a human there or have the expertise to be able to walk through those questions. So we were excited to get our team on board with Dr. Ross Mitchell and help support him with the Jenkins. And yeah, it's was able to scale up completely after being built on our platform and after doing some more fine tuning afterwards. And we're excited to also announce that his tool will be open sourced coming up here shortly through the Apache 2.0 license. But yeah, this is an example as well about how we're able to provide the technical support and able to work with each part of our stack to help him bring something from an idea to an actual model that's launched. Um, and here I'd like to take a moment to focus on our Denvr AI Ascend program. So this is a program, just like we talked about, of helping the AI industry earlier with Dr. Ross Mitchell's service. We are looking to help more and more researchers and more AI industry push forward across Canada and across North America. Just as an industry, there are so many gaps that need to be filled right now, and there's so many important solutions coming out. We would like to take the time to really focus and invest in those companies and help from just the idea side to accelerating and actually launching your product and service. So this program is tailor made for those that are scaling up. It provides access to additional funding. So we provide up to $500,000 of compute credits for each organization, which is massive. And along the way, we noticed there's a bit of a gap in the industry as well, where if you're looking for compute, those that have a lot of backing and are looking to purchase a lot of compute at once for a big training workload or whatever, get the best discounts in the market. And so what it does is it leaves the other startups sort of struggling to get the same kind of pricing. And what this program does is it helps enable that pricing over time, where if you're using the same amount of services through us or the same amount of compute, every month we'll be providing a percentage back into that compute account. So it's a way of gamifying the usage and getting access to those better pricing that others find through reservations for companies who can't necessarily, commit to a large reservation right away. The other part of this is that we are backed by top tier partners, so we're supported by those in Amy, BDC, DRAC, AltaML, and those as well. And the AI Compute Access Fund, I'd like to take a second to highlight as well. If you're a Canadian startup or a Canadian AI service, you'll have access to this AI Compute Access Fund from the Government of Canada. Originally, there was just openings for submissions of interest, and what it did was it would cover up to one half of your compute costs reimbursed, up to $5 million if you're using any type of compute from anywhere in the world. But specifically for Canadian compute, you would get two-thirds of your costs reimbursed, up to $5 million as well. So it's a massive program that's on now from June 25th until July 31st. And it actually just launched today for applications. So this is key timing for you to take a look. Let me know if you need any links or have any questions on it specifically. We've been taking our time with the Denvr AI Ascend program with those that are participants in it to walk them through how to submit your application of interest, how to answer certain questions, and therefore having a relationship with a Canadian compute partner enables them to have two-thirds of the compute reimbursed, which is a much larger chunk of change over the $5 million. So scan the QR code if you'd like to take a look at the page and how to submit to us to try to join the program. Uh, yeah, we're just trying to help as much of the industry as possible and build up much more success stories like the AI Scribe. So here, we'll open it up to questions in a moment, but I wanted to take the time to thank everybody for joining on. We went through the AI critical infrastructure from Amy's side, where we focused on how the services and solutions they must evolve and very, very fast. We need to be ready as a market to make changes rapidly. We're focusing on collaboration on new technologies and streamlines to accelerate innovation. And this is a good moment to say if you do have a valuable solution or something that could really help us, whether it's an AI service, an application, or technology, we thrive off partnerships. So anything like that, please get in contact with Amy or myself. We're trying as much as we can to yeah, coordinate and work with the industry directly. And Canada's AI sovereignty depends on trusted, scalable solutions. So here's where I just want to focus on what sovereignty means for a second. In my eyes, there's three layers of sovereignty. The first is that somebody's providing a service in the country, but that they're not necessarily based in the country, own in the country, or have offices in the country. They're just providing the services there. The second layer is maybe, let's use Canada as an example. There's a Canadian company, but it's owned by an American company, and they may have Canadian offices as well or warehouses where they work out of. But at the end of the day, it's American owned and operated. And then the third level of sovereignty, I would say, is something that is truly Canadian owned and operated. It was started here, the money gets reinvested here, and therefore there's no fear of a potential off switch or anything getting in the way of that business here in Canada. And I think as the conversation is progressing for AI sovereignty in Canada, it shows that the critical infrastructure needs to be owned and based in Canada for us to have full control over it here. And I think that's valuable for every nation to have their own sovereignty over their compute. So yeah, please scan the QR code there. That will be for our next webinar, Architecting the Future of AI, Critical Infrastructure and Innovation. Please join us for that. It will be unveiling some more of our behind the scenes technology and how we'll created what we have today and where the future is really headed for the industry. So yeah, we'll open up to some questions. I see they have been posted. Let's take a look here. Q&A. All right. So, does it support HPC and large language model training or inference? So we actually support both. We have both on demand available for both of these features, but also we have reservation models as well. So we can support large training workloads ready to go or long-term inference as well. The next question that I have here is the AI Ascend. So here, AI Ascend sounds pretty interesting. Can you explain further how it is different than other credit or startup programs? And is it only for Canada? So that's a very good question. The AISN program is a startup program, and you've probably all seen similar stuff from AWS, from GCP. The entire idea is to help startups. The difference here, one, the level of credits is quite high, but I think the largest difference would be the accumulation of credits as we go. How we're looking to support those organizations with credits each month to provide access to that better pricing overall. The other part of this Ascend program that's really valuable is you'll have access to the key support that we have. These are top researchers in the industry that have worked with this top level AI compute for years now, and they've understood the kinks. They understand how to work with a certain type of idea and bring it out to reality. And that level of support we've heard has been the most valuable. So we definitely want to make sure that's clear. Um, yeah, and the other side of the Ascend program is that we're looking to onboard conveniently and make sure that it's something that people can stay with for a long time, where if you're investing afterwards, you're getting more and more credits and you're getting access to lower and lower pricing. So as the market evolves and the pricing changes, we're not having to create new contracts or go in and create new agreements with customers or people on the Ascend program. We're automatically lowering those pricings directly. So the credits are going a much longer way, and we'll do that without even having to ask the question. The next question I see here is, actually, yeah, we'll go through. So, how quickly can Denvr Dataworks onboard new customers, and can you provide more details about the ongoing support Denvr provides? So I won't go too far into the support because we've already highlighted that a little bit. But the how quickly can we onboard new customers is a great question. I think that's something that people have struggled with with others, where sometimes the platform itself can take a training session or two to actually learn, and learn all the different changes that you'd have to make to get something running smoothly. For us, it's been equated to more of a Linux box with GPUs connected to it. So it's geared towards researchers and those who are not necessarily the most savvy to be able to go in and select exactly what they need to set up and have the support there to run it. So we can get somebody onboarded within 24 hours. And that's typically our turnaround time, 24 hours, given that it's a business day the next day, to have someone fully set up on the Denvr platform. I see the next question here would be, do you provide bare metal GPU capability if I would like to host my platform? Absolutely. So yeah, this is definitely something that is possible. We set up bare metal very frequently. It's more in terms of the reservations where people want it for several months or a couple of weeks at least. But yeah, that is absolutely something that we're setting up, and also for bare metal as a service that will be launched shortly as well. But yeah, please reach out to discuss the bare metal capabilities. Be happy to discuss it a little bit further. I think the last question, I will pass it off to Amy.
Yeah, I think probably best for me here. So we do have a question. Do you host NVIDIA AMD GPUs in your immersion tanks? And if not, do you plan to? What I'll say is that this is actually one of the challenges that we see in the industry today, around liquid cooling in general, is access to compute and also the infrastructure solutions behind them, that adapt to multiple different infrastructure environments. So whether it's direct to chip or immersion, making sure that your facility design matches up with hardware availability. There's a bit of a disconnect in the ecosystem right now because the technology is evolving so quickly. So in terms of immersion specifically, we are capable of dunking multiple different vendor GPUs. One of the things that we are actively doing, and it's on this slide, is a significant amount of technology development and also partnership with leaders in this space. So we're actively working to validate new designs. We're actively working to actually get new types of components immersed to work with partners to actually accelerate commercialization. We're working actively in groups like Open Compute Project, or OCP, to help establish reference designs and standards for new components like power supplies, which also incidentally can be immersed. So there are a couple of different ways that we're tackling these challenges. Our approach is to enable the ecosystem so that we can also enable ourselves. If we accelerate development of this technology and establish standardized designs that we know are reliable, things like material compatibility checks, performance checks, and so forth, then that benefits everyone in this industry. It helps to unlock quite a few performance advantages that we're seeing today. So we are relatively agnostic to the hardware. Our tanks are specifically designed by us. So we can accommodate multiple different designs, multiple different components. It's just for us a matter of de-risking, making sure that we're confident that the component will perform well, and that it will be reliable. I hope that answers your question.
Awesome. Thanks, Amy.
Mhm.
I think that is it for the questions and for the webinar. So again, please scan this if you'd like to join the next webinar at the end of July. Reach out to Amy or myself if you'd like to discuss partnering or tackling some of these challenges together, or jumping on the platform and getting access to bare metal or VMs with us directly. and for the Ascend program. Yeah, we hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you so much for joining, and feel free to reach out in the future. Thanks so much.